I'm Sarah Starr, and this is your space weather forecast for the day. So the energy this week is going to be very interesting. So we've already had an M6.7 flare that erupted from our sun yesterday. There was no CME that was associated with it. However, we have two very large sunspot regions that are on our sun right now, and it looks to be there's a lot of complexity with these regions because they are so large and they just appeared on the limb of our sun, so they have about a whole week to go through the process before they rotate off of the limb. However, because they are complicated and they are new to the sun, we have a full week of unexplained energies that can be associated with these two very large active regions. We also are still integrating the Schumann spikes that we've had. We are having little baby rainbow blasts at the moment, and we have some planetary alignments that are syncing up with us today. So at the moment, our moon is in Cancer energy and it is interacting with our sun, which is in Pisces, before shifting into Leo energy. When our moon is anchored into this Leo energy, we can expect to see a lot of bravery and courage coming out, and our heart space expand, especially before the sun is into that Aries energy. And today is the first day of our new astrological year. So with that Leo energy building up, we have this new boldness about us that is setting us forth into the future. And although our sun hasn't shifted quite yet into that fiery Aries energy, we can still feel a lot of buildup and a lot of anticipation because we know a new chapter is coming. We can literally physically feel it, we can sense it, we use our intuition, we know it's coming. So it might be a good idea today to watch your energy levels, watch those impulses that we may just kind of latch onto or have these triggers about us, because the energy is going to be disrupted later in the week. There's going to be a buildup of restlessness today, so make sure you're anchoring yourself as much as possible. Yet again, watch those energy levels. But this energy is really going to help us push forward because there's new opportunities that are awaiting us for the whole new year. Today's the day, today's the new start. How do you feel? Now, not only do the planetary alignments daily affect you, but our solar weather affects you. So let's check out the energy today. So yesterday we reached high solar activity levels with this M6.7 flare that was associated with region 3615. It did send us into a moderately high R2 radio blackout. Our radio blackout was west of South America and it was south of North America. So if you had any type of communication issues or navigation, GPS, if your cell phone wasn't working quite right, if you did experience some minor implications on any of your electronic devices, especially in the southern areas of the United States, this would be why. Now we are getting quite a bit of light from this region 3615 that did give us this strong M-class flare. It also gave us a very low M-class flare, and this sent us into a R1 radio blackout. Our magnetic field is very weak. As you can see, we are getting quite a bit of these blackouts, and this is going to be associated with this major solar storm that they are predicting and putting out in the media, and high-ranking military officials are trying to warn everybody about. But I will keep you posted on exactly what is going to be happening with our sun so we can be as prepared as possible. Now here is our two major regions. So we have 3614 that is now numbered on our sun, and then 3615, which is in beta and gamma configuration, mainly beta configuration because it's a bipolar sunspot. But we do have a lot of activity and a lot of light that is coming from these areas. We have 10 sunspot regions on our sun. We have 2 that are not numbered, this one and this one that has formed right over here that is heading off of the limb of the sun. As you can see, these 2 sunspot regions that I just showed you are predominantly the largest and most complex out of all the sunspot regions that we have. And note, it is surrounded by this very, very large coronal hole. This is a massive coronal hole, and it is heading onto the middle of our sun, which means it will be Earth facing. Now, our regions, you can see a lot of light coming from this side. We also have new regions that will be popping up, very large region. Here's a look at the far side of our sun. 3599 seems to be the largest sunspot region that will be heading on during next week. But you can see we have the majority of these larger sunspot regions finally showing themselves on the southeastern limb of the sun. Now let's take a look at 3614. It's only gave us some C-class flares, but still remains the largest sunspot region that we have. We need to keep a watch on this because we do have some configurations, a lot of trailing spots. However, the percentage of our flare probabilities is pretty low. Now this is the one we are going to look out for. This is 3615 that gave us that very large M6.7 flare that sent us into an R2 radio blackout. Now the percentage of our X-class flare did go down, but yet again, it just headed onto the sun. It has quite a bit of numbers of days before it is Earth facing, so it could be more complex, it could compact itself, or it could decay. This is in beta and gamma range, but mainly in the beta component, very small delta component associated with it. Now this is a larger sunspot group because we have a very large trailing area with this, but notice we will still get these C-class flares, which we are, and this is the most active region. We really need to keep a lookout on 3615. There was no coronal mass ejection that was associated with that large M-class flare, but we do have a chance of having more M-class flares, and we do have a chance of going into R1 or R2 radio blackouts because mainly of this region. Here are our solar winds. Now this is what is going to affect the Earth most. So we had a filament eruption. It is a transient influence, and it gave us some unsettled energy levels. They are going to remain enhanced from the 19th up until the 20th. And by midday from the 20th up until the 21st, we're going to see a rise in our solar winds because of that coronal mass ejection filament that lifted off on the 17th. Here is our 3-day geomagnetic forecast. As you can see, today we are going to be in nominal levels around a KP2. However, tomorrow, midday, yet again, the 20th, we are going to see a rise into those active G1 geomagnetic storm levels. These are very minor. So if you are in a high latitude area, the probability of you seeing some beautiful colors from our aurora borealis is pretty probable with a higher percentage. So watch out for those geomagnetic storms. Look out for those beautiful colors. If you are in those areas, please tag me. I love to see this stuff. Currently, we are at a KP3, so we did go above our KP2 prediction. Yet again, KP5 levels are expected tomorrow and the next day before they die down, unless we have a coronal mass ejection that is a high velocity that can produce some very major geomagnetic storms. We do have 2 active levels, one being that 3615 that I just showed you, but yet again, we're going to monitor all of this. This is our Enlil graph. As you can see, on the 21st, we are going to have a little bit of density that is going to come in from that filament liftoff. Not too much velocity, like I said. But around the 22nd, you can see our density passing off and something new that is going to come in the next coming of days. So expect an energy increase with our velocity. Solar winds are going to amp up a little bit. And here's our Schumann for today. So our peak is at 28. The frequency is a little bit low. We're kind of decreased right now, but we did have some light and we are progressing into those higher frequencies. So yet again, happy new astrological year. Today is the day. We have new opportunities. We have new chapters. However, watch your energy levels today. Watch your impulsiveness. And as always, I will keep you posted. I'm Sarah Starr, and this is your space weather forecast for today. Love ya!